Writers collect entries by writing about special people.
Hi writers, I'm really excited to be with you today because before I was a principal, I was a teacher. And my favorite thing to teach was helping students learn how to get ideas in their writer's notebook. And that's what you're going to start doing at the beginning of third grade. So I know that you've already decorated your notebook, and I want you to make me a promise that your writing notebook is going to stay somewhere really safe all the time. I keep mine in my office in a special place, and if you see me, you can stop and I'll show it to you one day. Our writer's notebooks are like a treasure chest. It's where we keep all our ideas that might someday be a story. Now, not every idea in our notebook will be a story someday, but every once in a while, there's going to be a special seed that you'll want to make into a book or an essay or a story. So we have to talk about how, as writers, we're going to get those ideas. So what I want you to do right now is turn to the first blank page in your writer's notebook and put the date on it. Now, one of the ways that writers get ideas is to think about special people in their lives. Special people. Now I want you to think for a minute. Who are some special people in your life? Now here are some rules. They have to be at one time breathing. So stuffed animals don't count right now, but real life animals do. And that special person doesn't have to be alive right now. It could be someone who was special to you that's passed away. So for me, 3 special people in my life are my nephew Jake, my sister Jamie, and remember how I told you the person doesn't have to be alive right now? So the other special person in my life is my grandma. Now, I want you to do the same thing in your writer's notebook. I want you to list 3 special people in your life. And when you've done that, I want you to press play again on your video.
Stop. List your 3 special people and then press play.
Okay, writers, if you press play, that means you've come up with your 3 special people. Now, I want you to pick one of those people. So for me, it's going to be my grandma. And I want you to write that person right over here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to think about a special moment with that special person. So for my grandma, I can think of 2 special moments right now. Well, my grandma didn't drive. So instead of going somewhere in a car, we had to take the bus. And that was really special to me. So bus rides with Gram. And my grandma lived with us while I was growing up. And you may not believe this, but I had hair that was so long that I could almost sit on it. And every morning, Grandma would do something special to my hair. She might make a braid or a ponytail or a French braid. So that's a special memory I have. Grandma hairdos. So that's what I want you to do next. I want you to think about one of your special people, write their name, and then come up with 2 memories with that person. 2 special things that you remember doing with that person. Go ahead and do that now, and when you're done, you're going to press play again.
Stop. List 2 special moments with your special person.
Okay, writers, did you come up with those 2 special moments with your special person? Now comes the fun part. We're going to write about that special moment with a lot of detail. We're not going to try to tell the whole story of a whole day, but just one special moment. So for me, I'm going to tell the story about how Grandma would do my hair. And writers often, before they write it down, they practice storytelling, and they tell their story by telling it or writing it in the air. So here's how my story goes. I grabbed the little chair from the corner of the room and put it in front of Grandma's big chair. I sat down and I started to watch the TV in front of me. It was Captain Kangaroo, my favorite show. Soon Grandma sat down behind me. She got the comb and started to brush my hair. Ouch! I screamed. I'm sorry, my Megan darling. It's just another knot. Soon she pulled piece after piece and began to make a braid. Writers, did you notice how I tried to include the actions that I did and Grandma did? That's what I want you to do with your special moment today. But before you start to write it, I want you to practice telling it in the air. So let's do that right now. Tell your story in the air, just like you were writing it on paper, but write it in the air with your voice. And when you're done, press play again.
Stop, writers. Now you're going to practice telling your story in the air. It's like a dress rehearsal for the writing you'll soon do.
Okay, writers, now that you've told your story or written it in the air, it's time to get it on paper. So when you start to write, let's remember, we're going to say the actions that we did, and we might even include what we said in that moment. I just started to write my story. I haven't finished yet, but I'll share this part with you. I grabbed the little chair from the corner of the room and placed it in front of her big chair. I listened to the TV as she sat down behind me. She grasped the comb in her hand and went to work. Ouch! I screamed as the comb hit a knot. I'm sorry, my Megan, she said in a quiet voice as she finished with the knots and began to create her masterpiece. She held some of my hand in her right hand and some in her left hand and began to create a braid. Now, I didn't finish my story yet, but I will later today, and I can't wait to see what you've created in your writer's notebook. So remember, one way that writers create ideas or seeds in their writer's notebook is by writing about special people. So let's get started. Go write about one special person, one special moment with that special person in your writer's notebook. I know your teacher can't wait to hear and see what you wrote. Have a great day.
Now it's time to write. Your teacher and I can't wait to hear and see what you wrote when you used a special person to help you gather ideas in your writer's notebook.